And hello, welcome to another edition of Laurel Park Weekly. We're live here by the historic Laurel Park paddock. It's the last day of November. That's right, November is out of here. It's gone, guys. December starts tomorrow. Gulfstream Park, the championship meet starts this weekend. So the November's gone. December, here we go. How we doing, guys?
Great. Claiming crown at Gulfstream Park. Kickoff that big championship meet down there. Going to be a big weekend, Tim.
Absolutely. It just seems like we were just kicking October to the curb, talking about Halloween candy, and here it is, the 1st of November, heading to December and heading into a great week of racing.
But the cool, crisp, really nice fall weather continues here in Maryland, and it looks like it's going to be that way for at least a little bit while heading into the month of December. So come on out for some live racing Friday through Monday.
No turf this weekend, but a bunch of big fields on our dirt course today. And I got the I don't get to wear my Laurel Park hat much, during the afternoon. I get the shirt and tie on, so going with the casual look here with the Laurel Park baseball cap. But we have a nice, I'll be serious tomorrow with the Rainbow Pick 6 carryover we have here at Laurel Park. It's going to start race 4 tomorrow, Friday, on the 9-race program. Nice carryover, a little 8,600. That's going to be well played, I think. The Rainbow Pick 6 has been getting a lot of interest. There's been singles for a big payout going into the last race, and that could be the case tomorrow. If you're live going into the last race and you're single, you could be looking at anywhere around a $15,000 score in that Pick 6 tomorrow.
That would be a nice stocking stuffer on the way to the holiday, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, and it's an interesting Pick 6 because we have some nice races combined in that Pick 6, including a 2-other-than allowance race, which we're going to talk about a little later.
All right, so we'll get to the local preview about this coming weekend here at Laurel Park, but let's show you some big winners from last weekend here at Laurel Park. We kicked off the race weekend on Thanksgiving. Nobody does Thanksgiving better than we do here at Laurel Park. We had a big crowd coming out here early. They stayed all day. They got the free pumpkin or apple pie. They saw some nice racing as well, including River Deep. River Deep, the Virginia-bred 3-year-old by Arch, now 3 in a row going long here on the Laurel grass for trainer Phil Schoenthal. Sheldon Russell, a nice ride. This was a big step up to the 2-other-than allowance company. He was actually skipping a condition, and River Deep, very sharp winner last Thursday, Thanksgiving Day.
Well, I know we're on the deep end of the turf season here, but to me, Tim, she looks like next year, or he looks like next year, a stakes winner to me. He did it all by himself up front, and it really didn't dig down a lot there.
Absolutely. He got a perfect trip, no doubt about it. But, the race before in that restricted Virginia-bred allowance race, it was visually impressive, but I thought, okay, well, there wasn't a whole lot behind him. But that was a 2-other-than. That was a serious race, and he ran fantastic. And he got a nice trip on the outside from Sheldon Russell. And when Sheldon Russell said go, it was all over. I mean, it was all over at the 5/16. There was no one going to get close to that horse. And that was a big race from River Deep and Morgan's Ford Farm and Phil Schoenthal.
On turf, rated good there, so a little cut in the ground. So don't be fooled by the fractions of 50.11 for the half, 6 furlongs, and 15 flat. Yeah, he was out there by himself, but he kept going, and it looks like he's got a lot of foundation under him now. He's got a lot of air and a lot of ability. So I'm looking forward to a big 2018 on the turf for River Deep.
Yeah, 3 for 3 since getting into the Phil Schoenthal barn. Nice ride there by Sheldon Russell. Russell with a big weekend last weekend here at Laurel Park. I believe he had about 6 wins. Had a nice $10 winner there on River Deep. All right, let's show you a nice winner from last Friday here at Laurel Park. We were off the turf in race 9, but still a nice first-level allowance contest here. It was a guy's day out. We had a big crowd here last Friday, and they got to see the Hall of Famer. Edgar Prado has been red hot the last couple weekends. A nice, confident ride here on this 5-year-old son of Tappet for trainer Mike Trombetta. Kabang with Edgar Prado aboard last Friday.
Alive was second, also trained by Michael Trombetta for a Trombetta Exacta there that pays $17.40. And as of this taping, Edgar Prado 6,983 wins. That's remarkable.
That is remarkable, and he's riding as good as ever, as well as ever. And he doesn't ride every race. He rides 3 or 4 a day, but he's making the best of every ride he has. Kabang, that was a nice race. It was an off-the-turf effort, so you've got to keep that in a little bit perspective. Got a nice trip and just overpowered that field. But a nice effort by Kabang. It was by Tappet out of the Dynaform air and handled the dirt just fine.
Yeah. Well, went off as the favorite in that race.
All right, so the milestone win approaching here for for jockey Edgar Prado, approaching 7,000 wins. Maybe he'll do it down there at Gulfstream this winter. He goes down there for the championship meet, then he'll come back back up here wherever he does it. We wish him well. Edgar Prado approaching 7,000 wins. He started here in Maryland. It'd be good to see him do it here in Maryland, but he could do it this winter down there at the championship meet.
You never know where he's going to do it. I mean, sometimes he's out of town riding. Couldn't be anywhere, any track.
Sure.
Wherever he does it, I'm sure we'll have a nice little party for him here anyway. So an Edgar Prado Day or something like that. But I'm sure we'll do it, and good luck to Edgar.
All right, let's take a look. We had a couple nice 2-year-old stakes for you last Saturday here at Laurel Park. For 2-year-olds that have spent 90 days down in South Carolina, here's the winner of the Donna Freyer, an upset winner here. This is Fanny Bell Fleming for trainer Hammy Smith, a Maryland-bred 2-year-old filly by Freedom Child, a $23 winner in the Donna Freyer.
The favorite in the race was a maiden, but Fanny Bell Fleming had experience and goes off 10-1 against a horse that had never won. It was a good price there if you like the Ham Smith training.
And that was the favorite. She outground to the down to the wire, and that was a nice race. I mean, she was clear all the way. She got a really nice trip, but she grounded out down to the wire, just like you expect to see Hammy Smith horses do. They grind things away, and they get the job done. And it was a fun day. It was a fun race.
Yeah, and you know, it's a South Carolina restricted race,
right.
So horses that had spent some time. And, of course, Hammy, South Carolina, his brother with Ellery Training Center down in South Carolina. Yep. That was almost the gift of the week, well, I guess, if you're playing hunches like that.
Exactly. Well, it just seemed appropriate. I mean, it just seemed like that's the way it was supposed to be. Of course, I didn't have Fanny Bell Fleming, but it seemed like it was the way it was supposed to be, and it worked out.
Of course, she spent some time down there at the Ellery Training Center getting broke with Gory Smith, Hammy's brother, down there in South Carolina. So she's a Maryland-bred filly by Freedom Child. This is the second stakes winner in the first crop for Freedom Child, who's the leading Mid-Atlantic sire for the leading Mid-Atlantic freshman sire. New Stallion stands up there, Country Lay Farm, and this filly bred by Mrs. J.W.Y. Martin Jr. Good to see the Martins with a nice horse here. They were former top breeders back in the 80s with Worthington Farm. They had the leading stallion in Maryland back in the 80s, Lord Gaylord. So good to see the Martins with a nice filly they bred here, Fanny Bell Fleming. She'll be in the Maryland. Well, Hammy said that race was coming back a little quick, the Maryland-bred juvenile filly championship. So might be a little quick back for Fanny Bell Fleming. But we'll talk about those. But it would be good to see her in there. She'll have to go against the other Freedom Child filly, Limited View, who's probably aiming for that race.
Wise Gal, who was a 2-1 second choice, maybe retool a little time off for her. She stumbled at the start. No real fire after the stumble. Never really made a winning move. You know, kind of stretch kick she's got when she's good. So maybe next year for Wise Gal, some better things.
Yeah, I think it was a tall order for Wise Gal. It was the first time on the dirt, and she broke fast like she always does, but the dirt gave away up underneath her, and she stumbled, taking kickback for the first time, and halfway down the backside, I was pretty confident that she was going to go nowhere that day. But she's a nice filly. You get her back on the turf, and I think she's going to be just fine.
Time to grow up, too. She's kind of a smallish filly, if I recall, watching her run, too. So maybe from 2 to 3, she'll mature a bit.
All right, so big things to come for the Maryland-bred 2-year-old filly, Fanny Bell Fleming, for trainer Hammy Smith and owner Lee Christian. Let's show you the other 2-year-old stake last Saturday here at Laurel Park, the Christopher Elzer Memorial for 2-year-olds. This was the boy division going 6 furlongs. Another upset winner here. How about this Maryland-bred 2-year-old son of Curlin at a Lexington girl? This horse is a half-brother to a stakes winner, and you get a $49.80 win price here for trainer Gary Capuano with the leading rider Jevion Toledo. You kidding me?
Into the race as a maiden, out of the race as a stakes winner. Of course, a rider was not named till mid-afternoon. If you're sharp and paying attention, no rider named till late in the day, mid-afternoon, and it goes to Jevion Toledo, leading rider. A horse who had a couple of excuses. Yeah, you needed to stretch a little bit, but you were rewarded. I know a couple of people here in the grandstand that actually had him, $49.80.
Well, we tried to give him away a little bit. Neither Stan or I had him, but we talked about him a lot. And the one thing we recognized was this is the first time on a fast track. He'd run on a sloppy track. He'd run on a yielding turf. He'd never had the opportunity on the fast track. And the other thing I noticed, that Whirlin' Curlin will get a lot out of this race. I've been around some of these Curlins, and they are nice, talented horses, but they're not the sharpest tools in the shed. And sometimes it takes them a few races to get going. Cord Makers, another one comes to mind. Curlin comes to mind. If you remember when he broke his main at Gulfstream, he took a right at about the 3/16th pole and kind of went to the outside fence. So they get better as they go along, and I think Whirlin' Curlin, he's got an idea now. and he'll get better.
Curling out a Lexington Girl by Stormcat, and it's a win for owner and breeder Marathon Farms.
Yeah, a little Oriole magic there with Whirlin' Curlin', a big upset winner in the Christopher Elzer Memorial. Let's get a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll show you a couple big national races from last weekend, and we'll preview Friday's allowance feature right here at Laurel Park right after this.
In the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Either way, you win. Have a stake in the race with ExpressBet.
Okay, welcome back, Laurel Park Weekly. Let's show you a couple big national races from last weekend. Let's go to Churchill Downs last Saturday for the Grade 2 Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes. Let's show you the winner from that race. Here's Entice. Dave, take us through this race down at Churchill.
Entice from just off the pace. Tis Mischief rallied from off the pace as well. Then they hooked up in mid-stretch for quite the battle down to the wire. Entice was the actual favorite in the race, a lukewarm choice in the big field of 14. Trained by Kieran McLaughlin and the Godolphin colors on the outside getting the nod. This is a really close photo. Yeah, I thought it was a nose, but actual margin, that was a head. I don't know. It looked a little closer than that to me.
Yeah, I was a little closer to that. It was a head bob with
head
kind
bob,
of a nose.
yeah,
And,
the camera angle versus the finish line there. That was really close.
But Entice ground that horse down, and he ran a really nice race. He had a nice trip, laid fourth most of the way around there. Came a little wide into the stretch and ground that horse down. But by Magliadoro out of a mine shaft mare. And this horse might have a little future because he looks like he can just kind of keep grinding it out. So we'll have to see what happens. But a nice ride, Junior Alvarado.
Well, there you go. Our first thoughts for Kentucky Derby and Preakness and Belmont of 2018 right there with the 2-year-old Entice winning Kentucky Jockey Club Gold. The 81 buyer for that one. Worth mentioning, though, the Goldenrod for fillies. Also that card at Churchill, Road to Victory, a 91 buyer. So, it's hard to tell. You can't tell the fillies better than the boys, but we'll see.
Good to see trainer Kieran McLaughlin with a nice runner there, one of the class acts in the game. It'd be good to see him on the Derby Trail with one of the top contenders with Entice, perhaps. All right, let's show you a big race, Grade 1 from Del Mar last Sunday, the Matriarch Stakes out there. What did Chad Brown win another stake race?
What a kick, what a ride from Joel Rosario. The horse was 10th at the 3/4 call. Where is she? Look at this on the inside, and watch this late surge to get up.
It was an amazing trip because she was last going down into the first turn, last going down the backside, and he got a seam right up the fence. It reminded me of Calvin Vorel on Mine Shaft in the not Mine Shaft.
Mine That Bird.
Mine That Bird in the Derby. I mean, he come right up the fence, had everything his own way, had to weave around traffic just outside the 8th pole, but she was pounds the best, and that was a huge race.
Off limits.
Off
Irish
limits.
bred. Irish bred was second too.
Yes. Well, we've got a lot of Irish around here, but she had plenty of pace to run at. Half and 47 flat, 3/4 and 11 and change, so she had plenty of pace to run at. But Joel Rosario certainly gave that filly a nice trip, an $11.20 winner.
And part of the reason we show that race too is Cambodia was the actual favorite in the race. Horse we know from Pimlico, of course, finishing 4th. Little trouble, not beaten far, beaten what, about a length, 2 lengths in the entire race after some trouble in the race. So maybe retool Cambodia for next turf season.
And our Delacour was second in the race, right?
No, Delacour was second in the race with Hawksmoor.
Hawksmoor, right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right, so a couple local connections out there at Del Mar in the Grade 1. So that was some national races from last week. And let's talk about a big race we have coming up here tomorrow to kick off the 4-day race weekend. Tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Live racing on Mondays for the rest of the year here at Laurel Park. No turf this weekend, but we have some nice big fields. 3 maiden special weights for you on Friday with a couple nice allowance races, a nice carryover in the Rainbow Pick 6. We'll show you that again in a second. But let's talk about the allowance feature of the day tomorrow, Friday, here at Laurel Park. It's a 2 other than allowance feature. Optional claiming $25,000, going 6 furlongs on the main track. And there goes the Express Bet water truck going by the main track, getting the main track ready for the weekend. Let's show you Showalter, the Maryland-bred 4-year-old son of Quality Road for trainer Gary Capuano. Here's Showalter's win last October 2016 here at Laurel Park. He won by almost 5 lengths in this race, got an 84 buyer. He was put away after this race. He's run only one time this year. This Friday, he'll be running second off a long layoff. He's a 2-time winner here at Laurel Park. No doubt he has some talent. Javion Toledo will be aboard for Gary Capuano. Same connections that scored with Whirlin' Curlin last Saturday. So the question is Showalter ready to go second race off a long layoff?
He's got that light spotty racing record. Tim, what do you think of that? I do know that it's Marathon Farms and Gary Capuano. Remember Whirlin' Curlin, as they say.
Whirlin' Curlin, Mr. Ed. But hey, look, this is not an easy spot to come back to other than second off a layoff. There's some real shooters in this race, and this is going to be, I think it's going to be a tall order for Showalter. I use the horse. I like the horse, but there's a couple in here I might like a little bit better. But the horse is a decent race off the layoff. He did he ran pretty well, but we'll see what happens here. But
it looks like a lot of speed in there, and he's kind of a speed
race.
type too. Looking at the race, so I'm going to just add it up quickly in the break. The entire field, we got 11 in here, combined 20 races won at Laurel for the entire field. So a lot of Laurel-loving runners here. Question is which one?
And what a betting race it's going to be. Your lukewarm morning line favorite is the 8 High Roller at 4-1. That's for trainer Dale Capuano. That horse a good second at this two other than allowance race last out. Worley's your second choice at 9-2, and then Showalter your third choice at 5-1.
Yeah, I think it's a really tough race. High Roller came back. This would be his second race off a layoff also, just like Showalter, but he ran a bang-up race, ran an 84 buyer off the layoff. You got Dale Capuano. He's hotter than hot. And then, as you mentioned, Worley's coming off, has really, really good form up and down. 2 last races have been really, really super good races, both on the slop. He's going to have to match those races on what I think will be a fast track come Friday.
High Roller, 2 wins, 2 seconds, a third out of 7 starts at Laurel. You mentioned that last race against older horses. He's facing older again, so he's really taken that step up here. Late in his 3-year-old season, and he beat a horse called Oh Dionysus back in the Frank Whiteley, another Gary Cap runner, way back January of this year.
Well, it's a nice race. High Roller, you're 4-1 favored. Showalter's 5-1. Third choice, Worley 9-2. Second choice, let's talk about an 8-1 shot here. Maryland-bred 6-year-old for trainer Ann Merriman. Willie Be Mine has run some big races here at Laurel Park. He fired an 83 buyer last June, winning by 5 against Starter Allowance Company here. That was last June. Here's a nice allowance win against other than Allowance Company at Timonium. He led wire to wire. He's on his left lead there, but it's a 3/4 track, so sometimes that distorts horses' lead changes a bit. But there's a nice allowance win. He's a 4-time winner here at Laurel Park. Maybe Willie Be Mine taking a step up here at 8-1 for a barn. It's been going well recently. Ann Merriman with a couple winners last weekend.
He's got that 2 post where will he be? Probably near the lead. Again, more speed in this race, and he's one of them.
Yeah, no question about it. And Willie Be Mine, I mean, I don't particularly care for him in this race, but he's been keeping some good company. You look down his form, you see It's a Journey, the great provider, Parade of Nations, so a club man. So, you know, he's been keeping some decent company, but he's going to have to step it up here, no question about it. But he's coming out of a nice race. Hasn't run since September 1st, but he's got some works underneath him. We'll see what happens here.
Right.
But it's a tough heat. This is a really tough heat.
There's the hunch play. They're hammering away over there, and School of Hard Rocks is number 9 in the 8th race. So maybe they're trying to tell us something.
It's a nice race, big field, 11-horse field for an upper-level allowance feature of the day, Friday here at Laurel Park. Let's show you the big carryover again we have starting for you tomorrow in that 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6. A little shy of 8,700 there for you. That's going to start race 4 on the 9-race program, so keep your eye on the Pick 6. If they don't hit it tomorrow, we'll have a real nice one for you on Saturday. We have some nice promotions coming up here for you at Laurel Park. This Saturday, it's the Give a Gift, Get a Gift toy drive. Donation is distributed through the Maryland Horsemen's Assistance Foundation. So give a gift and get a gift.
Yeah.
That's the toy drive. Nice promotion this Saturday here.
Yeah, a wrap gift, bring a new wrap gift. No stuffed animals is, I think, is the only stipulation there. And we'll give you a nice gift from our Maryland Jockey Club closet of prizes.
And
Yeah, it's a nice thing to do, and yeah, no stuffed animals.
Right.
No one has more stuffed animals in their house than I do.
Okay.
No stuffed animals. None.
And then a week from this Saturday, the always popular Giving Tree. Well, you can get breakfast with Santa as well. Bring the kids out Saturday, December 9th, breakfast with Santa. You get a photo op with Santa for children. The kids are going to love that. And that's also the Giving Tree, right? The Giving $10,000 Giving Tree and the 2018 Maryland Jockey Club calendar giveaway. So this will be a well-attended promotion. Nice job here. This is always a popular promotion year in, year out here at Laurel Park.
Yeah, some really nice calendar with some photos from our great legendary track photographer Jimmy McHugh and some of the other great photographers that we have here in Maryland. That's going to be on December 9.
And we have 4 stake races closing today. So a week from this Saturday, we're going to have 4 nice stake races for you, highlighted by the Maryland Juvenile Filly Championship. We showed you one that might be in there, Fannie Bell Fleming, but that's setting up to be a nice race, limited view in there. And then you also have the Maryland Juvenile Fraternity for the boys, which is shaping up to be a nice race, the Willow on the Move and the Howard Bender Memorial Stakes. So 4 stake races a week from this Saturday here at Laurel Park.
Yeah, it's going to be a big week this week, and of course next week with the calendar giveaway and the Giving Tree as well.
And the breakfast.
The kids
Don't forget
I
about
noticed
the
it was
kids'
$12
breakfast.
for adults, $7 for kids for the breakfast. Does that mean we get to ask Santa for something special for Christmas?
Well, maybe there's some adult beverages there that.
There you go.
Included a little bit.
That's a really nice promotion. Bring the kids out and meet Santa.
Oh, the Tulloch girls will be there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be a self-respecting Tulloch if you missed a party. So
Right.
they'll be there.
Got to be there. All right, that's it. We're out of time. Thanks for watching. For Tim Tulloch, Dave Robin, I'm Stan Salter, Laurel Park Weekly. We hope to see you out here this weekend at Laurel Park.